Now, guys, sorry to interrupt. I've got it. We might. I'm not sure if we'll edit this out. We're taking a phone call here, and it is a special guest that might be joining us all the way from London. Hold on. He's a special guest anytime he joins us. He joins us a number of times. It is David Blake, the guru of golf rules, the GolfRules Questions guy, great mate of mine. Also has his own podcast, the GolfRules Questions podcast, which I used to be a part of, and will be a part of again one day. But Blakey is a special guest because he's overseas. He could be possibly doing one of the first interviews about LIV Golf from the Centurion Club. So we've got Blakey live from the Centurion Club in the UK at the LIV Golf Series, where he is one of the tournament referees. Blakey, welcome back to the My Love of Golf podcast. How are you?
Very good, Roscoe. Thank you. Hello to all the listeners again.
Bro, what are you doing over there? What's going on? When did you become a LIV Golf guy?
I just love running golf tournaments, and it seems that this golf tournament, for whatever reason, has attracted some high-profile and high-quality golfers.
And rules officials.
The number one followed rules official in golf around the world.
Hey, don't get slugger.
Yeah, Slugger White is here.
Is Slugger White there?
Yeah, he'd be like the tournament referee, wouldn't he?
He is, yes, chief referee.
So Slugger's your boss?
Yep.
Did you ever think when we, like a couple of years, rewind all those conversations we had, Blake, like in the early stages of lockdown, what are we doing, where are we going, how we got to do, what are we doing with the podcast, what are you doing with your golf rules, you've got to get back out of the tournament. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams at that stage that, this soon on, Slugger White would be a boss?
Not working for Golf Australia, I'll tell you that.
Okay. You've gone rogue, real rogue.
I love it.
I just like running golf tournaments, and bigger ones the better.
So, Blakey,
I'm LIV Golf this week, but the Asian Tour last week was fantastic as well. So.
Yeah, well, let's rewind. So you can help us recap because it was on TV. It was just another one of the many golf viewing options on last week. What happened last week at the, what was the tournament called? The European International, something like that, was it?
It's called the International Series England.
Sorry. So what happened?
And
give us a rundown.
It was pretty tough out there, and a lot of the holes were layup holes. Either through dog legs or a creek that runs through the course. So they've got a lot of penalty areas crossing fairways where people were just hitting hybrids or 3-woods or 2-irons just to get to the landing zone, and then possibly hitting 5, 6, 7. Some actually into that 9th hole especially. That's a bloody tough hole. They're hitting 2-iron or 3-wood 2-iron in some cases, and that's just par 4. So very difficult hole, and the 18th as well. You could sort of hit it down there with like a 3-iron, and it would roll out sort of 40 meters, but then you're hitting 6 or 7 iron in. And Travis Smythe almost got over the line. He really played well, had held some awesome putts on 16, 17. And then just hit an absolute shocking shot on the 18th hole.
So who won in the end? It was Siwon Kim? No, who won? No, he's not. Sorry, Scott Vincent. Sorry about that. I was looking at the order of merit.
I think Siwon is still the order of merit.
Yeah,
I haven't checked it out this week.
Yeah, no, he is, and in front of B.O. Kim. Scott Vincent's on in third.
That's right. Oh, I have a feeling that Bio didn't get his visa into the UK, and that's why he wasn't here this week.
Oh, really?
Yes, potentially. That's the reason why he wasn't there. But yeah, Scott Vincent, 2 wins on the trot, and then gets into this tournament and potentially changes his whole life in 3 weeks.
Did Travis Smythe get a start across into that tournament, or only the winner?
He did. He did. 5. The top 5 got start that hadn't already had an invitation.
Okay, so just wrap up.
Change for a lot of these people.
Wrap up that Asian Tour event up there at Slaley Hall. Whereabouts was it? Just to the north of London, just sort of Midlands there, sort of thing.
No, a little bit further north. It was just 30 minutes left or west of Newcastle.
Okay, so right up there in the north. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, and then the weather wasn't amazing, but at the same time, for that area of the world, it was probably fantastic for this time of year.
Blakey, so you've travelled over there, you've done your job over there with the Asian Tour, and now you seamlessly just transit across into the tournament that's got the whole golf world buzzing, and breaking sort of news by the hour. You talked about 5 Aussies. So who have we got? We've got Travis Smythe. We've got Wade Ormsby, of course. We've got Jed Morgan.
Matty
Jones. And who else? Who's the last one?
I can't actually remember the other Aussie that was in the field. Oh, Kevin Yuan.
Okay, I don't know much about Kevin.
He got in from last week.
Yeah, okay.
Jed Morgan.
Yeah, I said Jed. So Jed, Wade, Travis.
Adam Scott will be there soon.
Matt Jones and Kevin Yuan.
Have you spoken to any of the Aussies? Have you bumped into any of them? Have you, like I know you always have a chat with Wade. How's he going?
Yeah, Wade's an excellent ambassador for the sport, and in Australia he's actually doing a little bit of a press conference at the moment. So I was talking to him yesterday. Talked to Travis. Travis has actually got Corey Crawford on his bag this week. They're mates, and they both live in the States at the moment. I saw Jed, but I don't really know Jed, but I'm sure I will meet him in the future. Blake Windred's playing here too.
Yep.
And I don't know Kevin, and I don't know Matt. I haven't seen Matt yet, but it's funny. Like 3 days, 48 players. That's basically one Thursday for 144 field. So the course will hardly get touched. They've got a pro-am on tomorrow. The draft draw for which are the team captains and the teams and all that. That's happening tonight. So I'll be going to that.
Have they told you who the captains are?
Casual dress. No, they haven't. They haven't told me who the captains are. So we'll find out all that information tonight. It's pretty cool, all the bad publicity that the PGA Tour are paying for. It's actually free publicity for this tournament and just makes it bigger and bigger. So it's pretty funny that way.
So you've obviously, sort of touched base with a few of the officials, and, you're obviously much closer than anyone else that we certainly know, and probably anyone else has spoken to maybe. What is that vibe like in amongst the people that are, at the badge office collecting their credentials and getting their instructions for the week event?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because it's all new and everyone's just sorting out all the bumps along the way. So there'll be a lot of hiccups, and we know that the golf world will see any hiccup as they're falling apart, because that seems to be the way the media want to portray it. But there's a lot of people here that are really smart people, and they'll see that, and they're looking at the bigger picture, and having a lot of good golfers coming along initially is going to play a big part in really legitimising this tournament and the series and the whole tour.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. Like anyone who starts to go, it's a shambles, and you hear the stories and stuff like that. Look, PGA Tour, when it was first sort of formed post 1968, it was still a shambles into the 1980s, and it was a while before it actually became really sharp under Dean Beeman. Any business that starts out, like, it's never going to be perfect from the start. There's going to be things you're going to iron out and stuff like that. It's just, and to Blakey's point, and you guys have seen me talk about this as well, this is all about the long game for LIV. And, one event, they're not going to care if someone's been critical. It's just more media for them. And they, as Blakey said, things will get ironed out at some point. You just move a few people around, you make some changes, you make some tweaks, you learn on. Nothing's ever going to be perfect from the start, and you just learn, and you improve it and improve it and improve it as you continue to go on. So anyone who's critical from the start going, oh, it's a shambles, well, they can shut up.
Blakey.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, go on.
They really just got to get two things right. You just got to, have the players enjoy it, and they are going to, they're getting paid a bit of money to enjoy it. But a big part of it is from their enjoyment is the fact that they're only playing 54 holes. They get more time with their families. They might only have to play 15 to 20 events max a year. That includes the majors if they get into them. So, if the players are enjoying it, they'll be like, yep, we can cop a little bit more press or a little bit more of these activities that are going along. Because, there's concerts happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you come along, the golf finishes at 7, and then, some music stars start singing. So, I'm looking forward to that. So that's one thing that they just need to nail. And then the second thing is just creating an entertainment vehicle that the fans like. And if they can get that right, then it doesn't matter how much bad press they get, paid bad press. People will come. If they leave, then they'll have to change their model, or they'll just fold it. That's simple economics.
Well, we know when there's smaller fields, and you get a concentrated view on the golfers that are playing those smaller fields. People come for good golf. Okay, we're talking about obviously a Ryder Cup and Presidents Cup and that sort of thing. But when people got access to good golfers and some of the better golfers in the world in a small condensed opportunity to see them, they'll come and watch it. What's your sense on? You shared with us some of the pictures, and I thank you for that. We shared that very early on in the Discord chat, the LIV Golf Discord. If you want to join that, we'll talk about that more later on. Blakey, you're going to join in, and you can chime in on Rules Chat whenever you want. What's your sense on, the corporate side of things? I can imagine that, the way you articulated about the players' comfort, the players' enjoyment more so than comfort. I can only imagine they're trying to attract corporate people to come and watch, and feeling like they're getting closer to the play and better access to the players type thing. What do you get a sense of what that's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's going to be part of that bigger fan base. Is they want more access to the player. So, hopefully we're miking the caddies up or miking the players up so the player can hear everything. That's probably something that the PGA Tour have touched on, but they haven't quite got there and probably missed out. That they're probably worried about what the player's going to say, but under the microphone or the microscope, whatever the player says, hopefully it gets beeped out if it's a swear word. But other than that, we want to hear about that. We see it in the Drive to Survive, which I'm sure you guys have definitely touched on about, and bring that to golf. And I know the PGA Tour are signing up for that, but how good would it be if LIV Golf got in there first and signed up for that kind of Drive to Survive and the startup company in golf?
You won't have to worry, mate, because I think there's about 6 people that are playing this week in your event that are on the PGA Tour season recording of this first season of their Drive to Survive. So DJ was one of the stars. Westwood, Poulter were all in the call out of people they were following with cameras. So it's going to be a very interesting test to how much say they have in what gets put to air and what doesn't.
That's going to be very anticipated.
Yes, and then LIV Golf should see that, and they should jump on board and say, "Hey, Netflix, come and have all access to our stars now." And that's really what people want. The viewers just want access. They want access. They want walking really close. They want, I don't know if they'll get to a position where the players talk to them, but hopefully we do. And the players realise they're still going to get paid and they're going to make money. They now need to give back to the player, give back to the fans, rather than just hitting a 9-iron to 2 inches. They need to, say, "I was hitting it in." Yeah, that's right, and just bring it back to the people. And if they do that, they'll win. LIV Golf will win. But we'll see what happens.
Like for example,
the change for the player.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there, Blakey. So one of the things that I love listening to is just simply it's like the the player caddy conversation. Like if they actually start micing them up and getting that sort of stuff, like fans are going to like eat it up because that's
right.
what you want. You want
right.
You want to be closer and hear what is happening in the event, not just what some talking head in some phone booth is looking at a monitor. You want to hear this, you know. I think back to, you know, I hear so many stories about like Phil, my man Lefty and Bones, right? And I've heard Bones talk about all sorts of conversations. And I think back to the 2010 US Masters. It's one of those things where you just wish you would hear those conversations of in the moment when someone's in the moment in those tournaments, and you just want to hear what they're talking about.
Yeah. And you know, how cool will it be when, if it's a team, certainly if it's a team's event and you have, you know, I'm not sure if this will happen, but I'm really hoping that the other, because if they do a playoff, it's just going to be pick the two best people. And then they'll play 18. So if there's two players versus another two players, you know, and then the other two players are sort of walking along beside them, you know, how cool will that be? And, oh, you know, you should hit it here and hit it there. And, yeah, that guy's hit it in the water, so lay up and that kind of stuff. I just feel like it's going to be, personally, I love teams competition. So if they nail that as well, that's just another added string to the bow.
Yeah, well, it's like you know, you talk about the teams thing, right? There's a couple of the listeners who I converse with a lot, and especially when we talk about playing pennant, and we've talked about it on here, you know, and that's the thing, right? It's that if you get back to the roots of a lot of people that are, you know, big time golfers, they've played their pennant at different levels and divisions at their club, and there's nothing better than the old Sunday event. So if they can try and, if they potentially capture that essence or that moment, just a glimpse of it, like it's going to draw. Look, I've been highly critical, but if that sort of stuff comes through on the screen, that's going to draw me in.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, if the teams and they're chatting, and that's what I see from Ryder Cups and Presidents Cups and Solheim Cups, that it's just that enjoyable type where people can have a chat and be strategic and stuff like that. You know, if they do have a combined two-man playoff, you know, one goes for it on 18 because it's par 5, and the other one lays up just to try and make the birdie 4 or whatever it is. So. Yeah, and then if everyone's mic'd up and cameras in their faces and stuff, which, you know, if we think about it, you know, are we treating them like absolute, what's that movie, Cable Guy? No, whatever. The one where, you know, there's TV in the guy's face all the time. But, you know, they're getting paid for it, and they're only doing it. Truman Show. And they're only doing it 12 weeks a year or whatever. I mean, it's 54 holes and it's a shotgun start. So, you know, this is what you're getting paid for, guys. It's an entertainment vehicle. It's more than just golf. You got to be more than just a golfer. You got to be a personality. Because that's effectively what the F1 drivers have turned into. They're more than just, you know, Daniel Ricciardo. When he leaves McLaren, he can pick whatever job he wants basically, because he's got this big smile and he's a good talker and he's funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. Like, he was already a character before the Drive to Survive stuff, but the Drive to Survive.
But we didn't know that.
Well, Formula One nuts like myself sort of do. But the thing is, though, the Drive to Survive has just enhanced it. So it's brought, you know, the people that already knew what he was like and watched him just through the year, you know, because they're just, you know, fanatics, but the general viewer has been drawn in by the Drive to Survive stuff. And, you know, you're right. It's like he's a character, and all of a sudden people are, you know, you see even some of the sponsorship and endorsements is he's already picking up that, you know, even here in Australia, right, you know, Optus and I think a few other companies is, you know, using him as like an ambassador, and they're just leaning into his character, or just not his character, but actually who he is, and using it, right? So you're right. It's like post-career, he's tickety boo.
Yeah, exactly right. And, you know, imagine if we see that with the golfers as well, although they don't really have a post-career, because, you know, their whole career can be their whole life can be golf. But spot on. That's what we really need to see. We really need to see the characters that play this game, not just what clubs they use.
Yeah.
Now, Blakey, I would be conscious of keeping you too long on the phone. Now, just
and your phone bill.
Yeah, well, we've been through that before, haven't we? But I only want the best connection for you, Blakey. I just get whatever I've got. Now, Mike's got some questions, and then I just want to get some questions on the course and the surrounds and some of the other things that you'll be up to. But Mike, fire away.
No questions.
Yeah, go for it.
No questions, but I'm going to tell you who the captains are.
Well, here we go. So Mike, before we started recording, broke the news that Phil Mickelson has about 45 minutes ago. DJ has officially resigned from the PGA Tour. So that he had signed obviously to play with LIV, but he is now officially resigned as of Kevin Na from the PGA Tour. So he broke that. Yep. So now he's going to break who the captains are for you.
And I'm going to tell you what their team name is as well.
Here we go.
So, how did you find out their team name?
This is what the data lake is for.
It's I won't say it.
Because I've been told not to share it.
Oh, really?
It's on social media, so it'll be out there.
Someone's already taken a picture and released it. What a dumbass!
Well, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Dustin Johnson's team name is 4 Aces. GMAC is Niblix. Ian Poulter is Majestics. Kevin Na, Iron Heads. Louis Oosthuizen, Stinger. Martin Keimer.
Oh my God.
Cleeks. Peter Uline.
That's the word.
Crushes. Phil Mickelson is the High Flyers, HY Flyers.
Of course. HY, yeah.
Sergio Garcia is the Fireballs.
Yeah.
Siwa Kim is Smash. Taylor Gooch is Talk with a Q.
Okay.
That's is that a product endorsement? Talk with a Q. And Wade Ormsby's a captain. He's Punch.
Really?
Yeah, Punch.
Punching above his weight.
Yeah, that's why he was getting dressed up and with makeup before doing a press conference. So.
Wow.
I know the names, but how did you find out who the captains are?
Social media knows everything, Blakey. Social media knows everything.
Yeah.
Data lake.
I don't know if they were told not to release it or not, but I mean that's what the draft party is for tonight. But we'll see.
Well, I'll share my source because it doesn't really matter. But Australian Golf Digest just tweeted it, and I can tell you now.
Yeah,
right. They've taken a screenshot, and it looks like it's directly off the website, but it's not on the website because I was on there before looking, and it's definitely not there.
No, it's in the players, the Club 54 thing, which is actually pretty cool. So apparently, there'll be guys out there playing golf, but there's a driving. The spectators can actually go and use the driving range like a Top Golf type thing. After during when the players are out in the golf course, they've actually got it set up so you can go and hit golf balls.
Mate, that's what you want when you're all amped up when you're at a golf tournament. You're just going to want to go and slug some range rocks down there. So give the people a chance to go and slug some range rocks. That's great.
Yeah, like I've just seen Dustin hit at 300. I want to try it now on the same bloody range and bang, bang, bang.
You just want to channel that mental mastery mojo and you just want to absorb the vibe that you've got from there watching your favourite players and go and hit some range rockets. It's fantastic.
Exactly right.
Blakey, tell us about the Centurion Club. What's your thoughts on the course? I don't know much, if not anything, about it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's nice. How old's Centurion? How old is this course?
Blakey just referring to one of his colleagues.
10 years.
10 years old. Okay.
10 years. So it's from looking at the use of the trees around some of the holes, it would be more than 10 years. It's near St Albans in London. I don't know this area that well, but if you do, they've got some building going down the right-hand side of 18 still, so they're still working on a few things, but the club outfit's lovely. There's a big build here with, for the corporate hospitality. But no, the course is long, championship type course. There's only about 4 penalty areas out there. up and down mounds. Not really. Probably the only thing I'm not a fan of is the wispy grass around the bunkers. Don't really like that, but that's a personal preference. Because I've kind of got some sides of it nice and smooth, just rough height, an inch high or 2 inches, but some of the other parts of it's like knee-high grass, and I just don't like that. But it's going to be a tough test. I don't think anyone will beat it to pieces. There's some really long holes out there. It'll be interesting to see it. They did have a bit of rain on the weekend, so it was wet in places, but we've got some sun today and there's a bit of wind and it's drying it out. So, it's good. Should be a good test.
Blakey, you mentioned that, you guys were told what not to say, or not to share the team names and captains and that sort of thing. Are you under any instructions from the governing bodies about what you can and can't do? Do we have to seek permission that you can do this? Well, we obviously not, but, by the time...
No, I mean, nothing that I've said today is a secret anyway. It's just my personal opinion. I thought that we weren't releasing anything, but a player's obviously gone in there or a manager's gone in there and just gone, oh, how funny is this? And just sent it to someone and it's got out. But, that'll happen. You can't hide everything.
We also put in the Discord, we put the circulation of what the players were circulated in terms of, like the marketing document, the positioning strategy, the taglines, who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah, saw that.
Did you get a copy of that? Was that, part of your welcome pack? Hi, Blakey, welcome to the team. Here's how you talk about LIV Golf. No?
And one of my colleagues, Steve, actually asked us if we're getting any media training this week, and I said, no, I don't think so. I think we're supposed to just shut up and not talk to anyone, but, this is just a phone call between you and me, Ross.
4 penalty areas on the course doesn't sound like you'll have a whole load of work. What are you expecting out there in terms of your workload?
Well, that's going to be an interesting thing in terms of pace of play. It's a long course. There's not too many penalty areas, but there's a lot of long grass, and certainly some of the landing zones are quite narrow, quite tight, but they still have to hit driver, whereas last week the landing zones where they were just hitting 2-iron weren't too bad. So what was happening last week was they were pretty accurate off the tee, so they didn't waste too much time finding their ball. But then they were hitting 3 or 4-iron into the green, which meant that they were spending more time around the green chipping and putting, which sort of slowed them down. This week they'll be mostly hitting driver, and that could also mean that they'll be going, getting lost balls and stuff. But it's a shotgun start. Everyone's on the course at the same time. 4.5 hours is the limit that we've set them, which is pretty standard for any other tour tournament. It will just be helping them take relief from maybe taking some stroking distance back to the tee and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting enough. I mean, it's just, all the bad publicity. I'm just here to help run a golf tournament. Really interested in it, and this is not one of many for me. This could be my only one. So I'm just enjoying it as it is and just seeing where it goes.
Well, they'd be stupid if they're not re-employing you and having you on retainer, because if they want a good rules official, you're the man. And I reckon it might be a lazy week because there's no Patrick Reed and there's no Matt Kuchar. So you're not going to have to worry about dodgy drops and using a shovel to try and, move the sand from behind someone's golf ball.
There's no fingers in the long grass.
Just need to keep the stopwatch away from Sergio. That's all. That's my only goal this week.
Or Kevin Na.
Yeah.
Or Kevin Na.
Blakey, before you go, in the Discord channel, there was a question about the Hideki Matsuyama situation last week. So while we've got you, you might just clear up, what actually happened with that fairway wood of Hideki Matsuyama. Had some Tipex applied to the face. From a governing body rules official, what was the official line with that scenario? Or imbroglio? Can I use the word imbroglio? It's one of our favourites. Remember those days?
Yeah, you can. You can. It certainly was. And then I don't know how the photo got on social media, but someone sent it through to the PGA and said, "Have you seen this?" And Steve Rintoul, who's actually Australian on the PGA Tour, one of the senior rules officials on the PGA Tour, came out and sort of gave the line in the sand of what the situation was, which was basically the club fitter had put the paint on the white out on the face for alignment. It wasn't to do with actually making it spin more or spin less, but that's potentially what it could have done. And you basically, the club face is basically you're not allowed to touch. There are, you could put something on there, like I think they were talking about a biro or something, but still, it's basically just don't touch it. Just leave it the way it is. And so that was potentially that material that was on the face could have an effect on the ball, and that's why it wasn't allowed. And if you make a stroke with a non-conforming club, you're DQ'd straight away.
Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Blakey?
Yeah, don't touch the face. That's as simple as it gets.
Exactly. Well, Blakey, unless there's any questions from the guys, as we will probably let you get back to work. I'm not sure what you've got on for what's today. It's Tuesday morning over there, Tuesday night here. What do you got on for the next couple of days?
Well, today we've got the draft party, so I think we're just going to we've just been looking around the 18th hole and marking out some drop zones for the TIO and some out of bounds. So I think that's all we'll do for the rest of the day, and then I think we're heading back to the hotel about 3:30 to get ready for the draft party that's on tonight, which we're looking forward to. And it's fun. A lot of the staff here who work for LIV had come over from the States. That's where their office is, and a fair few of them previously worked for the PGA Tour. So it's they see the opportunity that they're getting in front of them and decide to jump on board. So
well,
just like me, I'd still have aspirations to work for the PGA Tour, but at the same time, the Asian Tour is right in my backyard. So that would be nice.
You've got to take the opportunities when they're in front of you, right?
Oh, you just got to, exactly right. I just got to increase my experience and working with, guys like Slugger White and Steve Kavanagh, just absolute
and exposure,
right?
You need to know. You're officiating like a big event with some big stars, and so that's not going to go unnoticed. So and kudos to you for being recognised as a really good rules official. For them to sort of tap you on the shoulder and go, hey, not only are your videos bloody really good on YouTube and Instagram, but you're actually a pretty damn good rules official coming over here and do this. So kudos to you, mate.
Thank you very much. And actually, that's a good point you make. One of the biggest things about being a good rules official is actually player management and talking to players and having relationships with players. And the more exposure I have to the players, the better it looks on my CV. So.
It's the respect, right? If you have to make a tough call, and you're able to do it in a way that you explain to them exactly what the rules are, and you treat them with respect. You don't, you're not dissident or anything like that, but at the same time, you're not a pushover like that. That just wins points.
That's spot on. What you do is you just don't give them the drop, and then you just say, sorry, mate, sorry, I'm so sorry, and then just run away.
Love it. David,
is that why Patrick runs up to his ball and then moves it before a rules official gets there? Because he knows shit, I think Blakey's in the field.
Let's be honest, Rocket, I don't think Patrick Reed's running too much.
Blakey, where have they got you staying? Are you in town? Are you in Mayfair or something like that?
We're in Watford. We're in Watford, and I'm glad we're in Watford though. It's supposed to be about 25 minutes, but in the bus that we take, it's about 45. London traffic is horrific. I don't know how anyone lives here. It's 7 times worse than Melbourne. I guarantee you that.
That's why everyone takes the tube.
Yeah, you got to go south to go north sometimes. It's so strange. But no, Watford seems to be a nice place. But when you referee it, or when you work at these tournaments, all you're doing is going to golf course, hotel, airport. So you don't get to really see too much. But that's fine. I still enjoy being over here and meeting the people. English people are actually quite nice, apart from the fact that they beat us in the cricket the other day and we've rubbed it in. But anyway, it is what it is.
Watford, it's in that north, for those that don't know, London's that sort of northwest area. Watford just got relegated in the EPL. Watford is a team that I sort of loosely follow. Was at one stage owned by Elton John. And one of the legends of the Watford Football Club from a few years ago was Richie Johnson, who was a childhood he was from Western, I was from Cessnock, but Richie's dad and my dad played football together, and he played 200 and something games for Watford. There you go. Just another name drop.
And just so the listeners don't get confused, it's not Watford Oval in Lithgow, it's Watford Oval in Watford in London.
That's exactly right.
Gotcha.
Blakey, the party tonight, a couple of things on the party. Yep. Will the players be there?
Yes, the players have to be there. Okay. That's one of the requirements. Everyone has to be there, and they pick their teams or whatever. I don't know how they're picking the teams, but everyone has to be there, and it should be good.
Okay, just grab a selfie with Wade. He likes, the last selfie that one of the podcast guests got with Wade at Royal Adelaide. He flipped me the bird. So if you can get him to do that again, he wouldn't mind flipping the bird. Yeah, there you go. Blakey, congratulations, well done. You are part of golf history. Who knows what happens with golf at that level, golf entertainment, golf broadcasting from this point forward? No one knows. It'll change. It'll look different. And it's something that, who knew that we'd get to this point? But you're part of that history, and well done. 2 years ago, we sort of sat down and we talked about all of this sort of stuff. And please, I'm not trying to impinge and take any credit there, but we had a lot of conversations about, what you wanted to do and where you wanted to go and how you're going to get there. It sort of got, and it seems like it's getting there. So congratulations and well done to you, young man. You did tell me a lot of stories did tell me a lot of stories about some of the other golf tournaments that you've been at. And I'll remind you of the Spanish event. Was it Valderrama?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not have any stories about you sleeping under the trees in your shorts. All right.
I wonder where you're going with that. It was the Sergio's tournament in it was just south of Barcelona, about 2 hours.
Catalunya.
Oh, I can't remember what it. Yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
Well, Blakey, the good news is
anyway.
you don't have to do it backpacker style now. You've moved up 17 rungs up the ladder, so well done. And
there's some pretty good TIOs there that I could sleep under.
Keep yourself nice, all right? Just keep it nice for the Golf Rules Questions.
Will do.
All right, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Blakey. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, guys. I'll let you know how it all goes, and I'll give you insight where I can.
Mate, thank you very much. If this is the first podcast that anyone's done from someone live at LIV, we'll take credit for that, but it's all credit to you, mate. Thank you very much. We'll see you when you're back, all right?
Yeah, excellent. Sounds good, Roscoe.
Right,
see you guys.
See you, buddy. Bye.
Bye.